I hated the new Lion King movie so much. Anybody that knows me when it comes to movies know for a fact that it doesn't take much for me to really enjoy a film. Like, I'm easy to entertain, yeah. But when I say I wanted to walk out of a movie theater, it should say a lot. I watched it twice, okay? I didn't want to watch it a second time, but it just kind of happened. Upon second viewing, it changed my opinion very, very little. Alright? So here we go. Here's my points as to why I fucking hate The Lion King 2019 remake. It's boring. It's so boring. Like, no, what makes it boring is all these aspects about it. Where do I even start? The voice acting was god awful. It was god awful. Upon the first time I viewed it, I thought the line delivery was just so awkward and like unnatural. Like, when people communicate, it's not how a conversation flows. And then after seeing the movie, I saw a lot of people saying, well, you know, like the facial expressions, there was not enough facial animation to go along with the voice acting. So I thought, okay, that's pretty fair. Then when I got to see it a second time, all I can think is, okay, let's try to see is it the facial recognition or is it the voice acting? Which of these things is the problem? I tried to be as analytical about that in my second viewing as best as I could, and I can honestly say that both things are the problem. Not only is it because they did not animate the faces to go along with the voices, but the line delivery was so awkward and bad. It just felt like they rushed through it, you know? And that's what I feel about a lot of this. It just felt like it was kind of rushed through. Like say the lines, okay, now that we finished that, we'll get on to the next thing. It felt like it wasn't fine-tuned as much as it needed to be. It seemed like this was a project that just needed to be done. Presentation and some of the scenes were also just not good. But upon second viewing, there were some parts that were okay, but they were in very spotty areas. The scenes were just, like I was saying, they just don't have the emotional impact that they are supposed to have. Oh my god, the best example I'm going to come up with is Mufasa's death. Spoilers, I guess. Mufasa's death was, as we all know, is supposed to be a really sad, very powerful impact. In this film, it was not that at all. I didn't feel anything. And if you watch me when I review movies, you know how emotionally I get myself. I leave myself emotionally vulnerable when I go to see a film to take it in for what it is. That's what I do. And doing that for this movie did not help it at all. There's just no emotional impact where there should have been. And like everything went against it. The voice acting, how unnatural it was, the facial expressions, no, they didn't have that, and they should have had that. It could have helped it a little bit, but they didn't do that. When you're remaking a film, you're giving yourself a chance to present a classic story in a new way and add something different to it, make it more different, like presentation-wise. But the presentation was just boring, awful. It made a more boring version of a story we already know. And that story is a knockoff of a story from Japan. It's how I feel about all these Disney live-action remakes. They're just movies that get made because they know how much of a cash grab they're gonna be. So they don't put as much creativity, not enough passion into it. You can tell there's not enough of that being put into these movies when you watch them and actually try to soak it all in. Like, they downplay a lot of shit that they shouldn't have downplayed if they're gonna take the film seriously, if they want to make it into something good. Like, to these movies' credits, I'll give them this. They do add little aspects to change things up. Like, for example, in this film, they did try to make Scar more menacing than charismatic, than he was in the animated film, but like, it didn't work. And I feel like that's partially the voice acting fault and just how it was presented, you know? Just, yeah. Shenzi was like the leader of the hyenas. That was never really established in the animated film. That was a kind of a cool thing that they tried to show. That and like some other small things if you watch the film, it's, they're interesting things to add, but they don't make the film any better. But yeah, the best thing I can give this film some credit for is, it's two things, okay? Seth Rogen as Pumbaa was hilarious. Second thing, they did The Lion Sleeps Tonight. That scene was pretty good. I'll give them that. That was pretty good. But other than that, there's not too much to redeem from this movie. Not a lot that makes it good. Yeah. This is like the lowest, honestly the lowest score I'm gonna give a film so far. It's gonna be I'm gonna stick with 2.5 out of 10. Originally, it was gonna be 2.5 out of 10. Then I saw it the second time and thought, okay, I'll give it a 3. But no, I'm gonna stick with 2.5. And I feel like I'm even still being nice about it. So yeah, there you go. Lion King 2019. Piece of shit.